Easy. I always have to wait a second to check this is streaming. Internet problems, but we're good. Yeah, this is actually really simple and it's really easy. I'm going to show you two ways to make your thumbnails better, both using Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop, and then Canva.com, which is the free version. Let me just show you quickly before we get in what I mean. So, this is Photoshop, but let me go into... Right, so this is my channel right now. And as you see here, these are the thumbnails I've just created over the last couple of days. Before this, all of the thumbnails for the live streams looked like this or this. And I had them all the same because that was what was easy for me to create on Canva. If I just flip over to Canva, I just made them on my phone like that and it was easy and free. But now I had a bit of time. I wanted to go back and update the older those thumbnails to make them look a bit more engaging and clickable. And I think these now, the ones I have updated, like if you see that was from yesterday and then the last couple of days, I think they look a bit more engaging and someone just scrolling through YouTube might click on them rather than something like this that isn't, so clickable. So I'm going to show you. Each of these only took about 10-20 minutes to create, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did that and how it's really easy. Good morning, guys. Morning, Bradley. Morning, Chim Chim. Morning, Lyndall. Thanks again for joining. Hopefully this will be helpful to some of you. I'm going to go through it. It's the first time I've done this sort of live tutorial like this, but I'm going to show you how to make thumbnails like this pretty quickly. I'm going to just jump straight in and start doing it with Photoshop. So here you have, this is the welcome screen on Photoshop, and these are thumbnails that I've made before. So that's, if I just go into this one, I'm going to start from scratch, by the way, but let me just show you how it's set up. It's relatively easy. It's not. It doesn't have a great deal of layers here in Photoshop. That's just a few things in there, and that's how it looks. But let me, rather than showing you the finished project, I'll start from the beginning, and we can do this together. Bear with me, by the way, because this is the first time I've done this. So if you're creating a new one in Photoshop, a new thumbnail to start with, then you're going to want 1920 by 1080 because that is the dimensions that a thumbnail is best. That's the same dimensions as a video, and that's what that's the space you want to fill on YouTube. So I would just go ahead and create that like that. That's fine. You can name it if you want. Let's say thumbnail new and create. So this is just completely blank. For some reason, my Photoshop does that. So I just ungroup the artboards and then start from here. That's it, completely blank. That's a transparent background. And I'm going to show you how from here I would create a thumbnail. So I still need to do two for this channel. And these two here that I haven't updated yet, so I'll choose one of these. Why don't I do the COVID-19 lockdown versus travel? Let's do that. I chuckled because that probably means this video will never be monetized now just by mentioning COVID-19. YouTube seems to do that. Right, so my first port of call, I want the background here. I want there to be some sort of background as I have for these. I want there to be some sort of background where my face will stand out from it. What I would do is I would just search for Unsplash, and this website's completely free. It's unsplash.com, and then you can search for any kind of background. Now I've just got an idea here of the background I would want. It would be some sort of empty airport or empty plane. So let's search for empty airport. Now these are all free. Any images you use on Unsplash you can just use for free as thumbnails or whatever else you want on your websites, and you can use them for whatever you want to. So what would look good here? Maybe something like that, but then I need to think the way I want it to be set up is like this with the text in the top left. So now I'm thinking, will the text stand out from the background there? Probably not. Maybe that one would work better, but let's just have a quick stroll through and see if there are any good ones that I would choose and that would work well. If there's nothing, I mean, possibly this, I'll download that one. It's that easy just to download it. And it won't be perfect in this tutorial, by the way, because I'll try and go quite fast, but let's just see how these turn out unless there's any other good ones here. Maybe that one. Something quite dark as a background. Yeah, let's go ahead with that. Now all you do is just drag in this into Photoshop. So I'm just dragging it in there. And that can now be my background for the thumbnail. So I just size that up, put it there, and then that'll be the space for the text here. Now, as you might have noticed on these thumbnails, a few of my faces are the same. It doesn't even have to be from the video I just made. I've just got a few images of myself that I can just drop in here. So if I wanted to go and place a new image, let me just think where I can find that. 1 second. I'm just going to go and look for an image of myself to drop into it. Okay, yeah, I've got one. So I'm just going to drag that on there. And yeah, so I've just dragged this on top. I just changed the screen as I went into my folders. And so that's on top here. You can just do that. That was a screenshot from an old video that now I'm going to make fit with this background. So let's say that would look good about there. And then I'm going to cut out my face so it's just there, just with the background like that. There's a really easy way to do this. Firstly, I will be placing that there, just by pressing enter. And then I'm going to use this little tool in the top left. Let me just drag the screen over. There you go. You can see that better. Using this little tool in the top left right here. That's the quick selection tool that I'm going to use to cut out myself from the background. It's really easy. It's really intuitive. It does it completely for you. Just as I do this, there you go. It's cut myself out from the background. I can zoom in by pressing Z and then zoom in here. And then I can make some slight more adjustments to make sure that it really is cutting out the right part of me. So you can see here I need to cut out a bit more of my head there, a bit more there. You see some hair there. And that's okay enough because we'll tidy that up in a second. So then you're just going to go to, show you here, just going to go to select and mask at the top. So select and mask. And then you'll see how it's cut out the background here. I'm going to feather this slightly, which just adjusts the edges and gives you the slightly better cut out. Smooth the edges like that, and then I will output to, apologies guys, my screen isn't quite fitting this, so I've got to move it around a few times. Yeah, that's better. So then I will scroll down to output to new layer. That's what I like to do here. Click OK. And then it's going to cut it out from the background like this. If I just zoom out, I can show you better. Again, that's Z minus, and you can see just here that it's now cut out with the background like this. Next, what I'm going to do, if you see I've got this up here, I've put that on each one of my live streams, and this was a live stream that I'm editing the thumbnail for. So what I'll do here is I will just put in some text saying live. I use the font Questrial, and I use that across all of my videos on here to give that a similar sort of look. Put that up the top there, and then I would go back to Google to search for live PNG logo. And this is how I found it before, and then you can go into Google Images like this, or live PNG. PNG is a transparent image, by the way. Live PNG button, and then I want something like that. So that is fine. Again, I can just download it and start using it for my thumbnail. The internet's being a little bit slow. Either one of these is fine. Yeah, let's say I can download that. That looks good to me. If there was a download link on here, which there doesn't seem to be. Yeah, fine. I'll use this one instead. Save as. This is not making it easy for me. 2 seconds. I will very quickly have this downloaded. 1 sec. Just trying to look for the right PNG link for it. Okay, I think I've got it now. Here you go. So from there, I just had it downloaded. I'll just drag that into there, onto there, and then put this into the top. Again, I didn't have to create that myself. I've just found it from the internet to use on the thumbnail as part of the overall picture. So now we've got this looking kind of similar like that. Did it in like, I don't know what that is, 5 minutes so far. Then I'm going to use the same text again, text tool like that, drop it on top. COVID lockdown, or this is where you put a part of the thumbnail to make it slightly more clickable and make it more engaging than the actual title itself. So you have the title that's there for the SEO and therefore getting picked up in search, and then on the thumbnail you want to type something that just makes it that much more clickable. So I don't think I really need to say COVID again, but maybe I can just use the word lockdown versus travel. Something like that. Maybe I could think of something even better another time, but I'm just going to do this very quickly. Maybe it could be something like, can we travel in, will we be able to travel again, or something, but just very obvious. Lockdown versus travel, drop that in there. And then as you see, I also had it underneath Creative Money Mornings. So again, I'll just drop morning Kembies, thanks for joining. And then it doesn't look quite as well, doesn't fit together that perfectly right now. And there's a few things you can do here to make it fit just that bit nicer. What I would do first is I would right click myself here, go to blending options, and then within blending options you can go into drop shadow, which just adds a bit of a shadow behind me. If I change the distance, you can see it gets bigger. I would have it around 7-ish, 7, 8, 9, something like that. Just adds a bit of a shadow to bring myself off the background. And then what I would do to make it look as if it's more of a photo rather than superimposed, I would go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and again just blur that background a little bit. There you go, maybe that looks a little bit better. You can also do the same with the text here. I'm just going quite fast to go blending options and then give it a little bit of a drop. I just searched in Google Images for ink splots or ink splatters, whatever you want to call them, and laid them over the top. So to make sure I'll use the same ones, I won't go and download them again. I'm just going to copy paste these from here. I believe it's these two. Different size. Yeah, it'd be something like that. Just to give it that same sort of look. You'll see at the moment it's on top of my head, so I'm just going to drag it down there so it's now behind my head. The black doesn't work with this. So what you can do instead, you could either recolor them to the white, or what I would do, which made it a lot easier, is just invert, and then the same with this one, go to invert, and it just looks a little bit nicer. So I'd say that's fine. That's good for my purposes right now. Like you could go in further, make it a bit cleaner. Think of it as an unfinished project. If you wanted to, you could still go and make it look a bit nicer. But for me, that's all right. So I'll just go to export for now, and then I will be able to export it in the settings I need. I'd keep it in PNG. It keeps the quality. 1.4 megabytes is fine to upload to YouTube. It needs to be less than 2 megabytes to upload, I believe, or it used to be anyway. I'm pretty sure it still is. And then I just export it and all good. That's now ready to be uploaded on the page. Pro tip, when searching on Google, go to the Tools tab, press Color and select Transparency. It selects all images with no background. Sometimes typing PNG doesn't work. Thanks, I actually didn't know that. Yeah, that is really useful because I always search for, like I just said, like icon PNG, and then sometimes you go download it and it gives you, like I had there, the SVG file or the JPEG. So yeah, that is useful. So Mario said when searching on Google, go to the Tools tab, press Color and select Transparency, and it selects all images with no background. So you'll get that way that I'd be able to use it. So that for me is now good. What I would do is I just go into this and then change the thumbnail, which I won't do right now, but let me instead show you Canva. So I created those other thumbnails that were here just as placeholders at the time because I didn't have my laptop. My laptop was off for repair over the last couple of weeks. And so instead I just created these thumbnails on my phone using Canva, which is completely free. So you see that's the thumbnail there that I created. But if anyone wants to use Canva, you can. It's completely for free. Like with Photoshop, you have to pay for. But Canva's a way around of doing it where you can create it either on the laptop or on the phone, completely for free. And you can design not just YouTube thumbnails, but pretty much anything you want for social media. You see all of them here. But I'm going to show you now the thumbnail. You can just search YouTube thumbnail. It's going to give you a bunch of preset designs that you can choose to create similar ones. If you could just change the words if you wanted to, or you could do a slight variation on it if you wanted to. Let's find the one I was doing. I think it's further down, somewhere down here. Okay, it's one of these. I don't know if I'm going to find it right now. I went quite deep in to look for one that was working for me. But you can see anyway all the different designs that you could choose from. If you want to just start editing any of these, you can. I can't find it. It's fine. Right, let's go into one of these and you'll see what I mean. So what would work possibly well for this kind of video? Yeah, let's choose one that I kind of like the look of. I don't know, let's try that. So, this is how it looks when you first get to it. You've got the template. I would go in and change the name. Which also helps for SEO, by the way. So I would change it COVID-19 lockdown versus travel 2020. And then when we download the file, it will be named that. So let's do the same thing that I was doing before. Lockdown versus travel. I don't think this is an amazing thumbnail, but you'll see at least it's very quick. Or whatever, that's gone. Then you could just go into uploading either an image of myself. I think I already have some here uploaded before. I don't know. Say that was in there. Position, send it backwards, forward. Could be something like that. I don't particularly like the look of it, but you can see how quick you can edit it. What you could also do is just crop to there. I think this should work. And then there you go. Something like that. I think it's the reason I prefer Photoshop is because you have more control over it, or at least I know it better. But with Canva, you can create thumbnails very quickly, and they do have a whole library of thumbnails to choose from. So that's it. That's my very quick tutorial. I know there's a whole lot more you could do with Photoshop, but to create a very basic thumbnail that just works very quickly, and if you need to get the image of yourself, by the way, you could just go screen grab from the video you've made. Just go in and print screen, or go in and take a snapshot from whatever video you've made, cut yourself out and use whatever background you want. It is very quick, and I see a lot of people making not very good thumbnails. So like, even though this isn't the best possible thumbnail you can make, I'd say it's engaging at least, and maybe it's going to get you an extra click. But I hope that helps. It's just like I was doing it anyway, and I just thought, since I'm doing it anyway, why don't I show you guys how I'm doing it and why I've updated those thumbnails. So actually, we're going to keep this live short. I said yesterday that I'm in the middle of doing loads and loads of things right now. Like I still want to keep up with these lives, and I'm doing it, which is definitely why I'm here. And I want to keep going with these live streams as long as they're still helpful for you. But I am actually flat out with doing other stuff, so I need to get back to that right now. I did really enjoy the live. I really enjoyed the one yesterday where we were reacting to my older videos, so I'll do another one of those again in the future. Let me know if you'd like to see more of this content. Let me know. That was quite brief, so let me know in the comments if you have any other questions about what I just showed you, and I'll be back again tomorrow with a different kind of video. Thanks for watching, Lyndall. Very helpful, because I've always wondered about how to create thumbnails. What's the programs again that you use? So this one, the first one I used is Adobe Photoshop 2020. It's included on the Creative Cloud. I pay per month for the overall package, which gives me all of the editing programs, including Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere Pro, After Effects, and basically everything you need to create videos and content. And then the free one is canva.com, canva.com, completely free. And as you see, there's loads and loads of designs you play around with. There's a lot more settings within Canva as well that you could play around with. So let me just before we finish this, I will show you very quickly how you could make this even better. So this is how this looks right now. If I wanted to, in the same way, to change, where is it? I think it's in here. So if I wanted to change the background there the same way I did, I could either search for empty airport within Canva, and they may have a picture that you can use for free. A lot of these say pro, so you actually have to pay for them. So instead, I would just go to Unsplash in the same way that I did before, and you could download the image like that, downloaded it, go back to the photo like this, and then you've got your uploads tab here. I could just drag that into uploads. Now it's uploading that photo I just got from Unsplash. You see the progress bar there, it's uploading to Canva. And you do have a limit of storage, but it's quite large. And especially when you're only uploading small files, it's not that big of a deal. So then I drop this onto the thumbnail like this. So change this to, what was it? Lockdown. Versus travel. Obviously, I'd have to play around with that box at the back here, something like that. And then I could adjust the background. So if I wanted to do the same as I did on the Photoshop, I could blur it a bit, like that. Something like that. This is the only annoying thing about it. You do have to move things out of the way. So something like this. I don't know. And then if I wanted to, I could also add myself into the right hand side. It's a little bit more cumbersome than it is on Photoshop, just because I don't use it as often. But let's say I wanted to put myself there. I wouldn't say that's an appropriate picture of myself to have there, but let's say I wanted to have myself on the right hand side. You could also then go into the effects here, and you can actually remove the background. So it would automatically remove the background for you, but it is a paid feature. So I would prefer to do that on Photoshop myself, but you can do that within Canva if you wanted to. And if you don't want to have yourself on it anyway, then that's, you know, that's probably good enough for a thumbnail anyway. Yeah, so that's it. Part 2, please, of the reactions. Yeah, okay, I will do. For those of you that didn't see it, go back and watch that video. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, there's still a lot of videos that I didn't get to react to, including that Gangnam Style one that was suggested. And yeah, we'll do that eventually. Kebby's, hey Jordan, PC versus Mac. I have always been PC. I've never used a Mac. I've never had an iPhone. Some people say that's sacrilege. But yeah, I've always preferred PC, I've always preferred Windows and Android. And when I say I've always preferred, I've never really tried Apple or Mac, but it was always because the price was so much more compared to what you can get from Android and PC. So I just preferred to have the Windows versions. Yeah, thanks for watching again, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Windows and Android. And when I say I've always preferred, I've never really tried Apple or Mac, but it was always because the price was so much more compared to what you can get from Android and PC. So I just preferred to have the Windows versions. Yeah, thanks for watching again, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Windows and Android. And when I